When Congress defunded public media, thousands of you stepped up, increasing your monthly gift to help us survive year one without federal funding. We made it, but that loss isn't going away. So if you haven't increased your monthly contribution yet, now's the time. And if you're not a sustaining member, join us. A monthly gift to Boise State Public Radio gives us the steady, reliable support we need for year two and beyond. Choose the support tab at boisestatepublicradio.org.
From the studios of Boise State Public Radio News, I'm Gemma Gaudette. This is Idaho Matters. Well, if you have stepped outside today, over the weekend, especially in the Treasure Valley, you've probably not just noticed the haze, you have definitely noticed the smell of smoke. Wildfires burning across the West are taking a toll on our air quality, and they're also disrupting travel, with parts of Interstate 84, we're just learning, closed because of fire activity. So right now, we are going to take a look at what the fires, what's driving the smoke, how long could it stick around, what you need to know to stay safe out there. Our very own George Prentice has been following all of this since the weekend, and he's joining us to talk more about this. George, it's so nice for you to take time to chat with us about the latest.
Gemma, I wish I was joining you under better circumstances, but I'm glad we can share as much detailed information as we can.
Yeah. Okay. So, George, you and I have lived here for longer than we both like to admit. I have to tell you, just anecdotally, this seems to be the worst air quality that I have ever experienced here. But tell us the latest, in particular, as far as like warnings and cautions, the stuff that folks really need to know about.
Agreed. And you and I have been hearing this from people who were born here, who have lived here decades. It's the same story. I don't remember it being this bad. Well, let's get specific here. We do have an air quality alert, and it's worth mentioning all of the counties that this covers. Don't think that you are not under an alert, and that includes Ada, Adams, Boise, Canyon, Clearwater, Elmore, Gem, Idaho, Latah, Lewis, up to Nez Perce, Owyhee, Payette Valley, and Washington counties, all under air quality alerts today. And just so you know, in speaking with the folks at the DEQ, the Department of Environmental Quality, and the National Weather Service, there is really no big change in sight. I want to point our listeners to a really good resource in addition to Boise State Public Radio, our app, etc. If there's a lot of websites and apps to look at, the most user-friendly and most specific one that I can point you to is the Air Now app, Air Now, and that comes from the Environmental Protection Agency, which draws from state and local data across our region, and you can get really specific. So, by the way, just as we speak, I see the AQI, and AQI is the Air Quality Index. For the city of Boise, just in the last few minutes, we have now moved from red to purple. And purple basically means very unhealthy for all populations. Real quick scan here. McCall is in an orange range, which means unhealthy for sensitive groups. Community Sun Valley is also in orange, unhealthy for sensitive groups. Twin Falls is up to purple as well. Very unhealthy. And again, you can get your community on the Air Now EPA app. It is worth downloading.
So, George, I have to tell you, I mean, we've been under red air quality alerts in the Treasure Valley in the past. To be perfectly honest, I don't even know that I knew there was a purple air quality alert until today.
This is rare. And so I think it might be worth just answering the question, now, where is this coming from? So we know that there's a number of fires in central and southern Oregon and some in Washington that is heading our way. By the way, if you were to look at the air quality index for the city of Portland, it's green. So on that side of Oregon, it's very healthy air. At the Oregon-Idaho border, it's pretty awful. So we point to the Powder River fire, which sparked, back on July 17th. That is pushing a lot of smoke our way. And then over the weekend, we heard about the big grass fire right near the Oregon-Idaho border. and that is impacting Jordan Valley, Murphy, Idaho, Pleasant Valley, Idaho, Three Forks Road, and more. And the folks from the National Weather Service says there's really not much change in sight. I spoke to Nick Francis at the National Weather Service office in Boise. Let's take a listen.
But I think the big story really is the smoke that we've been dealing with as of late. A lot of new fire starts, and that smoke is making its way across our area. If you're, have pre-existing conditions, it's not good to breathe in those smoke particles. It's a good week to stay inside if you can.
To say the very least. By the way, Gemma, worth noting, and you just mentioned it very briefly before, and that is this road closure, and it is on I-84 near US 30, and that's near Baker City. US 30 is closed. They're only allowing local traffic right now. Again, that's I-84 closed eastbound due to a wildfire. There is no freeway access from US 30. So again, I-84 near US 30 in Baker City we've got a closure there. So you want to take note of that as well.
Yeah. Well, and George, I mean, here's the thing. There are so many fires burning that I think good precaution is if you do have some type of road trip planned, do take a look at your route. Because, for instance, I-84, I mean, that closed this morning, right? Around 8:30, 9 a.m. So you just, it's so important right now to just stay up to date.
And these will pop up as quick as a flash. And so have your apps ready, call ahead, let people know where you're going, when you're going. It's really important. Listen to an expert who basically says the best advice they can give you is to stay inside. So Gemma, I do have a little bit of news on the extended outlook. Would you like to hear about that?
So let's talk about that because, I mean, George, do we have any relief in sight?
Well, we're looking at a dry cold front, C-O-L-D, cold front, up in British Columbia that is expected to sag a bit and dip down across the Canadian U.S. border, specifically up near the Panhandle, and that could catch our wave, if you will, and cool things down. So let me read this specifically. A dry cold front associated with the short wave will sag south this coming weekend, allowing for temperatures to cool to near or even slightly below normal Sunday and Monday. Now it's an inkling of some good news, but that's about we haven't had much good news at all. So let's keep an eye on that. And of course, we'll be updating you on that hourly. Troy Oppie this afternoon on All Things Considered will bring you up to speed because these alerts and these cautions are important to stay abreast of. And if you're looking for good information, stick with us.
And George, really quickly, of course, we'll keep folks updated here at Boise State Public Radio, but can you give folks that app again? Because it's so incredibly specific to locations, right? When it comes to air quality.
So if you type into your browser Air Now, and it's kind of like one word, AIRNOW, Air Now, and then this comes from the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency.gov, and then download this app, and then you can fill in your home community. So for instance, I have a number of communities on mine, and I can just scroll right over. Again, I see that Boise and Twin Falls in this purple category as we speak. Stanley is in an orange category, which means unhealthy for sensitive groups. A little good news, better news, if you will, for Salmon, Idaho, which is in the yellow category. That means moderate. And then they'll give you the air quality forecast. And right now, the air quality forecast for the Boise area is unhealthy for today, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But we'll keep a close eye on that system up in British Columbia that may give us some relief Sunday and Monday.
All right. Well, George, as always, we so appreciate this update. And folks, do remember, if you are listening to us at our 8 p.m. rebroadcast, or you're listening online, or you're listening in the app, on a podcast, this is noon today. So things may have changed. But as George said, stay with Boise State Public Radio. Use the Air Now app to keep yourself updated minute to minute. And that'll do it for this episode of Idaho Matters. Make sure you check out our podcast feed because you can find more episodes of topics that might be interesting to you. And for more local news and headlines, make sure you subscribe to the Connector podcast. If you learned something from this episode today, share it with someone else who needs to know about it.
Each story you hear on Planet Money starts with a question. What happens if we refund tariffs? Why are groceries so expensive? At NPR, we stand for your right to be curious because the forces shaping our world can be hard to see. Follow NPR's Planet Money wherever you get your podcasts and start seeing how the economy really works.